of history. I am your illustrious host, Kevin Uncanny Anytime. Currently, I am sitting at a truck stop in my truck, just woke up in my truck, waiting for the next assignment. And that is how it goes sometimes, y'all. I'm literally sitting here in my back seat and it looks like a tent. I got a cover over one window. I got a pillow sheet over another window. I got my blanket back here. Well, not like a blanket, but it's like a nice little fleece cover. I got shades over the front and the back windows. And yep, I am literally camping out at the truck stop, y'all. That's how it goes. So look, I got a good topic for y'all today. Just wanted to give you the scene of how I'm creating this, because I have to do it on the fly. I can't just like sit inside somewhere sometimes and actually get it done, all properly, like, right? So anyway, that's just what the scene looks like. But the topic I have for you today is choose growth over company. Choose growth over company. You got to do it. You got to choose growth over company. And here's what I mean by that. When you are self-developing, you will get isolated. Now, I'm going to choose the word isolated over lonely. And here's why. Because you don't want to use that type of verbiage. Lonely means that you don't have anyone and you are longing for that companionship. When realistically, in the majority of a lot of our cases, I'm sure, we could literally get around people. We can get up with somebody, right? We would be able to, go out and meet some people or, because if we don't have any close acquaintances or anything like that, like you could go out and meet some people, or you could go in a public place and be around people, or you could maybe have friends, right? But the idea of lonely is you don't have any access to that. Okay? So nobody ever really is lonely. We use that and we try to force ourselves into that mold, but realistically, if you really think about it, you're never lonely, right? And for me, I have to draw on my belief system and recognize, I can pray to God and I'm never ever lonely, right? So that's just a part of my thought process, but definitely think about it for yourself. I'm sure you're never lonely. Now, isolated, yes, that is a different thing. That is purposeful removal from other people. Okay? And sometimes it don't feel purposeful, but trust me, in the majority of the cases, it is very purposeful. You placed yourself in isolation, or God has placed you there simply because it's necessary at this time. So choose that and choose to grow in that isolation over seeking company because you think you're lonely. That will put you in a loop. And that's a lot of what we're trying to break as far as growing and self-developing is old habit loops. Because when you get that feeling of wanting to be around people, this is what occurs sometimes. You will get around influences that are negative or influences that simply are not on the same path you are on, which is growth. And that there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody's not on a self-development journey, and not everybody even wants to be on a self-development journey. So there's really, in essence, there's nothing wrong with that. Yet when you are looking and seeking to grow and elevate and learn more and continuously educate, that causes a disruption in whatever relationship you are in. And not, it doesn't have to be like romantic relationship or anything like that, like friendship, whatever the case may be, acquaintance. That will cause a distortion in the frequency that you guys are sitting in, because you're in a frequency of, I want to get better. How do I get better? How do I do this better? And they're in a frequency of, yo, I'm just living, like, chill out, you thinking too much, blah, blah, blah. Or they are just like in a non-understanding, like, what are you talking about? Why are you tripping so much? Blah, blah, blah. Or they can be in just a totally different frequency. And so what that does is that causes a distortion, a disconnection of like y'all togetherness. So what that does is that only hinders your growth process, because y'all are miscommunicating and it's causing time to pass. And as that time passes, that could be your study time. That could be your self-reflection time. That could be your prayer time, right? So you have to choose growth over choosing seeking company. And we're all impressionable, y'all. I don't care who you are. You can be the highest guru on the whatever. Every single person is very impressionable and easily influenced, depending on who they're around. And when you are really seeking to get out of that isolated period, where you're really seeking to get out of that so-called quote unquote loneliness, you are looking to be influenced. That is the truth. You are really seeking for someone to impress upon you, even if you think you're the one that's trying to be the influence. So you have to really be careful, because you may be inviting the wrong influence, the wrong impression upon yourself. And that is not what you want. And you know that. But if you really deeply think about it, it's like, okay, this is a time period that you must go through so that you can get yourself to a better position, to be able to handle those influences, to handle those impressions with a better state of mind. And there takes a period of isolation for you to understand how to deal better with yourself first. Then you will be able to deal with others accordingly. Because there are times where we aren't fully aware of our blind spots, and we invite the other company and they bring light to those blind spots, or they help, they put us in positions to where we are more aware of those blind spots, and then we end up feeling bad about ourselves because we're like, oh yeah, I forgot I was supposed to be working on that, but I got, in this time period of isolation, and I wanted to get out of it too early. It's just too early. In the mass majority of the cases, you're jumping out of your isolated period way too early. It's going to take some time. Even if it is an entire year, that's going to feel like an eternity to you. But in the grand scheme of your life, it's not really that long of a time, right? So that's what you have to really consider, is how long has it been really? Once you really think about that and apply it to the grand scheme of your life, try your best to stretch it out more. right? We all need companionship. We all need friends. We all need people. That's why we're all here. We're all here to be together. So I'm not saying to completely just strip yourself for a way overdue extended period of time. But there is a necessary molding, refining process that happens when you're isolated. And God knows you need to be isolated sometimes so that you can really tune into yourself and understand yourself more before you're easily impressed upon or you are easily influenced and you start kind of acting the old way that you didn't want to act, or you start thinking the old way that you didn't want to think. And that is incredibly important, because if you start slipping backwards, you are slowing down your progress. And we all want to get to where we're trying to go as fast as possible. So, really consider this information, y'all. I really hope it was beneficial to you. These are things that I think about while I am on the road or when I'm at home, just meditating on information, contemplating my life experiences and my personal growth. And I decide to share these ideas because I really like deep thinking about specific topics, and that was one of them. And I really do hope that what I'm saying and the ideas I share help you to think better, because that's what we're here for. At least that's what I've signed up for, is to help people think better. And not to say that I think perfectly. I just really like to dissect and science a lot of information and try to get to the root of the causes of some of our own tribulation. So, that is all I have for you today. I love you guys very much. Always remember that mindset matters more than anything else. What your mind is set on will dictate your future. Focus on the good. Why? Because if you focus on the good, that is what you will attract. Got to be consistent though. And a lot of these things got to be consistent. All right? So, check out the Institute. All right, www.mindsetmattersmore.net, and jump in. Once again, I love you guys very much. I hope you got something from this. I hope it makes you think. I hope it makes you apply some information that you probably have been learning on the side already. And I will see you guys next time. Anytime, out.